Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by you-know-who, the Buffalo Fanatics. Is always good time when you join the Rico Report. Welcome, everybody. What's going on? What's happening? Coming off a big win against the Kansas City Chiefs. What a week. What a week. What a wonderful week. You get to beat the Chiefs. There's a whole lot of things going down. There's a lot of unhappy Bills fans. When is that ever a thing? When is that ever a thing? Bills fans unhappy. Well, after the Chiefs win, the trade deadline is here. They were expecting a whole lot of things, and things didn't work out the way they thought they would. And chime in, do what you want, enter in the Bills fans that are unhappy. Is that news to us? No, they're always unhappy. That's what a lot of people would say. Welcome, folks. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are all right. And let's get right into it. Trade deadline has come and gone. And you would think we've got the worst coaching staff in the league. Weren't we just praising Sean McDermott just 48 hours ago? Weren't we talking about how great a coach he was and how the fact that he's taken over, he's been the guy calling plays. Now we calling this brother out. Weren't we just praising Brandon Beane for drafting the likes of Max Harrison that pretty much iced the game for us, that pretty much changes our defense in what we do? Weren't we just praising the development, the patience of Brandon Beane and his coaching staff for what we saw out of Cole Bishop? Were we not just talking about this too long ago? Were we not praising Brandon Beane for sitting at the negotiation table and talking to James Cook? James Cook being one of the best running backs in the game. And right now his name is in conversation for Offensive Player of the Year. But yet, Bills fans still crying. My Lord. Anyways, welcome back, baby. And if you're triggered by me saying this, what you want me to tell you? My man said, bro, dog, wasn't that you? Hold on, bro, you was who? Hold on, no, let me run it back. I'm reading this, but I'm not reading it. Bro, you was, who's we? That's what you're trying to say. You mean I was complaining? Or was I just like, we're gonna have to get together. It's gotta be Joe Brady getting his act together. Wasn't it I saying, I don't think it's the receiver position. It's Josh and Joe that's got to get their act together. Did you hear me talking ish about Brandon Beane? Did you hear me talking ish about Coach McDermott? I'm a fan of McDermott. I told y'all, if he don't get it together, that's a whole nother ball game. We got to win it. But my biggest issue was Josh and Brady. I never really had an issue with these receivers that we got because we got them for a reason. Now, can they be better? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. But no, who's we? We all are in this together because we're Bills fans. So we can't just sit here and boo-hoo. Nothing happened. So we're going to cry about it? It's over with. We got to get to it. Now, we're going to get into the details of some of these trades, and we will ask a lot of the folks that are crying and wondering why things didn't get done. You know what I'm saying? Would you have traded for any of these guys, and what would you have given up? I think some people tend to forget. Some people tend to forget that we're broke. You're broke. So you can't just go out and go to the expensive stores and be demanding stuff. You ain't got the money. You ain't got the money. So you can't be doing those things, man. I know some people believe that, yeah, but the salary cap don't exist. If you really wanted to make something happen, you can make something happen. Of course you can. But what ends up happening is you kick that can down the road, which we have been doing, and we've been in this. Doesn't it feel like we've been in this position a long time now where we just can't? We're always talking about how broke we are. At one point, we're going to have to, you know what I mean, start being in the positive, but we're not there yet. But we keep kicking the can down the road. This is where we're going to be at. But we can't. Why can't we be like the Eagles? I mean, sure, I can't answer that question. Howard Roseman's a different cat. That brother's a different cat. You feel me? But it is what it is at this point. But in all seriousness, jokes aside, if you can't make a deal, you can't make a deal. It takes two to make a deal. Could you imagine walking into a car dealership and saying, yo, I want that Jeep Compass, or I want that, you know what I mean, that Wagoneer, or I want that, you know what I'm saying, the Mazda CX-7. I got $250 a month. Make it happen. Bro, dealership's going to look at you and be like, bro, knock it off. Get out of here. You can't afford that. You know what you can't afford? The hoopty that we just got in on trade is sitting in the lot. We didn't even clean it yet. You can take a look at the boneyard, go to the boneyard and have a look, and maybe you find some, because that's what we've been doing. You've been shopping in the boneyard. Now, the one move that I would have absolutely said I'm in on that, it would have been the Rashid Shaheed trade. Now, whether they got to us before we did or they didn't want to hear what we had to say, there's two ways to think about that one. I'll get into that in just a little bit. But here we are. Let's talk about these trades that took place today and your thoughts on these trades. And by the way, I'll be joined later on by my man Carl Jones. I started the show a little earlier today. Normally I shut up around 9:30, 8:30 your time, 9:30 my time. But here we are. So here's the question. My man Doc said, yo, Rico, I'll be messing with you. You know I don't take that. Guys, you know I don't take anything negative that you get. Like, listen, when you're roasting your peoples, you're not supposed to be upset and take it personally. I don't take it personally. Come on, you know that. You know we family. But you know we good, baby. We know we good. My man said, yo, Rico, my guy, I be messing with you with that go get touchy-feely Christian Wilkins. Listen, we have to let Christian Wilkins go, by the way. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's talk about what the Bills were rumored to be interested in, because there's a lot of things I want to touch on, but let's talk about what the Bills were rumored to be interested in. And let's really talk about it, right? Because I think some fans are, and I say some fans, I'll stick with some fans. Some fans, they're just happy that the Bills made a move, right? The move could have been mediocre, but the fact that the Bills made the move, they would have been happy with it because it would have showed at least Beane is trying. Because right now, Beane not making the move, it's as if he's not trying. You don't know how much that man was on the phone trying to make a deal and strike a deal. Maybe he was trying to make something at least worth his while. So first name that I saw on the list was Calvin Ridley. Apparently the Bills were interested in Calvin Ridley. Would Calvin Ridley have been a good addition to the Bills? Absolutely, right? He's got the route running ability. He's got the quickness. He's got the separation. He's got all the tools that I believe the Bills or Bills fans are looking for or need on this offense or need into this offense. Would he have been an addition that we would have used? Maybe. Go ask Titans fans, and they're like, bro, this guy's overrated. You ask some Titans fans, be like, oh, he's sorry. Now, whether you want to call it the offense that he's in, whether you want to call it the quarterback that he's got, who knows what the situation is. That brother got paid, and that's something that we would have had to deal with. So not only do you have to talk about trading with said partner has to now, or at least the Bills would have said, yo, but we're a little broke, so you're going to have to keep a little bit, and we'll kind of manage a little bit. Well, let's try to work something out. That didn't work out. Apparently, that was what was supposed to happen, but that never worked out. Okay, cool. Then I heard Deebo Samuels. In my opinion, I'm not in on Deebo Samuels. I think he's an overrated receiver. I think he's an overrated player. I think they hyped that brother up. I think his best years are behind him. And if he were to come to Buffalo, you would have had him and Khalil Shakir sitting in the slot doing the same damn thing. I have Khalil Shakir. Why would I bring in Deebo Samuels in? But it's the offense. He would have thrived in this offense. Think about it. We have three of the same player that can do those various things in the middle of the offense. Khalil Shakir, 4. I'll say 4. Khalil Shakir, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, Kincaid. Why would I bring in Deebo Samuels? I would have, if he made that trade, I would have said, why'd you do it? I would have been annoyed as ever. Would I have supported it? Of course, that's my team. You're going to have to. But I would have thought that is an awful fit for the Bills. Awful fit. But yet you had fans like, if we could get Deebo, my own homie, the big homie Pierre, he even convinced himself. He convinced himself that would have been a great move for this offense. Not because he's such a great player, but a great fit for this offense because we're a more horizontal offense, right? Crossers, screenplays, you know what I mean? Jet sweeps, whatever you want to call it. Nothing deep. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of formations here and there. It would have been perfect for a guy like Deebo Samuel. I think we got that in Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, and our guy, Khalil Shakir. Back to what I was saying earlier, that's on my offensive coordinator to find ways to get these guys with the ball in their hands. If we're complaining now as Bills fans on our offensive coordinator having trouble and challenged to get the football to guys that are explosive, what was he exactly going to do with Deebo Samuels? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying folks in this chat. Some of y'all are in there, but a lot of the social media stuff on Instagram, you're looking at TikTok, you're looking at Twitter. Bro, it was wild, comical. I was to the point where looking back at the picture, I was like, Brandon Beane, he's got 2 hours to make something happen. At the time, he had 2 hours to make something happen. I was like, bro, you know what he's going to tell us? Brandon Beane's going to be like, he's going to be like that mom and dad that takes us grocery shopping. And we sitting here going and picking all the nice cereals. You know what I'm talking about, the Fruit Loops. And we're grabbing the Corn Pops. And we're grabbing, you know what I mean, the Fruity Pebbles for you Americans. You guys like the Fruity Pebbles. You know what I mean? Grabbing all the good stuff, right? They're looking at you, man. Put that shit back on the rack. I'll be putting that in the cart. Take that out the cart and go put it back where you found it. And follow me, and we're going to get the stuff that we can afford. All the no-name stuff. Now, go get the no-name stuff. It tastes just as good as the Fruit Loops. That's one scenario. We were like, in Bills fans today, just watching on social media, we wanted everything that was out there. Go get that guy. Why are we trading for that guy? Look at this guy, right? It was like it's us in the back seat. Brandon Beane's driving, and we're driving by McDonald's. We're driving by Burger King. We're driving by all these restaurants and all these fast food places that we want to go and sit down and eat and get a little something. Brandon Beane turns around and says, yo, enough of that bickering back there. We got food at home. And when we get home, we're going to make something to eat. Quit asking me to go to these McDonald's and these fast. We ain't got the money. We ain't got McDonald's money. All right? I tried. But you see all the drive-thru? The drive-thru's full. Everybody's trying to get something. We ain't got the money. So sit your behind back there. When we get home, we're going to eat food that we got at home. And that's exactly what took place today. We eating at home. And let me tell you something. Sometimes the food tastes just as good at home. You just got to, you know what I mean, put a little love into it. A little more extra seasoning to it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you like the fries a little crispier. Let it sit a little. There's a little more control with what you can do with the groceries that you bring home and the food you already have at home. And that's the issue. We thought we could go out there and get all the things that we can't afford. It was nice. It was nice while it lasted. It was a really good afternoon. We were guessing, having a good time with one another. Hey, do you think we could get that guy? You think we could get that guy? Maybe that guy can come over. Even I was in there. I would have loved to see if we can get A.D. Mitchell. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But I know that A.D. Mitchell is on a rookie deal. A.D. Mitchell was drafted in the second round. A.D. Mitchell was something that you could probably afford. All these other big cats that you were trying to, you know what I mean, get out there. I don't know. We didn't have the money for that. So that being said, Bills not making a move sometimes isn't the end all be all. Sometimes the moves you don't make is the right move. Sometimes the moves you don't make is the right move. So, calmate, everybody. Relax. Now, I'm going to do my very best to try to spin it. Let me try to be a spin doctor here, all right? Let me try to be a spin doctor. Shout out to my ball cap. I wanted to show this one off. I don't wear this one enough, so I had to show this one off tonight. All right. Let me try to spin it a little bit. So the Bills don't make a trade. Is it really that bad? Yes, I know there's some holes on this defense. However, what you saw against the Kansas City Chiefs gives us a little bit of hope. Gives us a little bit of, okay, maybe we're not as bad as we think. It's just Josh has to just, find his moments and find his slots. So hear me out. Offensive line intact. There was nothing that we needed to do with the offensive line. We have one of the best offensive lines in the game. Check. We got one of the best running backs in the game. Check. James Cook. He's got almost, 800 yards rushing already. He's got 7 touchdowns. Check. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the game. MVP. Check. O-line, running back, quarterback. You're already halfway there. We have a tight end that's finally coming into his own. And it seems as though the quarterback and offensive coordinator seem to understand how to utilize this player. And this player is actually healthy. Kincaid, check. One of the better efficient tight ends. If you look at the metrics, he's up there. Check. But Rico, that's not our issue. The issue is the receiver position. All right. Hold on, Walter. I see you. I'm gonna get back to you. On that one. I see Walter's comment. Let me star that comment real quick. I'll come back to you, Walter. So now you're looking at the receiver position. And the reason I'm speaking the way I'm speaking is because we don't have a choice to deal with what we got to deal with now. The trade deadline's over. So now you gotta work with what you got. What are you gonna sit here and cry in your puddle of shame and puddle of tears all the way through to the no, man? Enjoy the rest of the season with what we got. So how do we use them? And I think Brady is trying to figure that out with Josh right now. We have the attributes. We have the guys that can get specific things done. We're just not utilizing them the way we need to utilize them. We know Keon Coleman is a 6'4" receiver. We know that he's a jump ball guy. We know that he's a possession guy. We haven't found the niche where he fits and does what he does best. That's still a work in progress. He's only in his second year. And if you look at his statistics, he's among some of the other guys that you guys are finding that are amazing. They're the guys that you wanted to trade for. If you look at their statistics, they're somewhat near each other. They're not that far off. That's number one. Number two, Khalil Shakir, I personally don't think he's being utilized the way I think he should be. We have room to grow in that area. I think we'll get there. It's just a matter of how and when we decide to use him and how comfortable Josh is and loose he becomes. He was a little tight at first. I think he's becoming a little looser. Now, here's where things get a little dicey, and this is where we need to now figure out what we do with these guys. Josh Palmer returns. If you remember, Josh Palmer in that Atlanta game, they seem to have figured something out with Josh Palmer. When he returns, this offense changes a little bit more. Now things open up. You have a guy that gets separation. So Josh Palmer returning now stretches the defense a little bit. You have to account for him. Now Keon Coleman can go to his rightful role. Elijah Moore seems to be peaking and finding something, maybe. And then Khalil Shakir can do what he does underneath. And then Kincaid is our main piece as of right now. So Palmer changes a lot of these things when he does return. Now, has he done a whole lot? No. Did it look very promising in that Atlanta game? Yes. So us not making a trade isn't as bad as you think. Some might not agree with what I'm saying, but that's the angle that I'm looking at right now because you can't do anything right now. The trade deadline's over with. So now what? We get a guy coming back that is there that we did bring to the Bills to get separation, to separate, to make space, to give Josh Allen a bigger target. And it looked like that was what was happening in that Atlanta game. And then the injury happened. So once people fall into their roles respectfully, I think you'll start to see a lot more going for this offense. Defense. Yes, we have some holes in the defensive front. Losing Michael Hoj sucks. It really does. I am beside myself about it because I thought that was such a spark for this defense. However, there's a silver lining in this. With Hoecht going out, Solomon may have found his niche in there, doing the same things that Michael Hoj was doing. Will it be at the same level? No. But he was able to affect the line the same way that Michael Hoj was and getting pressure. So we may have found the right position for Solomon moving all over the line. Because let's not forget, collegiately, this guy had 33 sacks in his collegiate career. His last year of college, 16 sacks. It's not like he's not able to get after the quarterback. He can. We just have to find the best ways to get him around and find that quarterback. Max Hairston coming back gives this defense such a boost, makes this defense different. You saw it against the Kansas City Chiefs. Stride for stride with one of the best deep ball receivers in this game, in Xavier Worthy. Guess what? Max Hairston was step for step, stride for stride with that brother. When you have one guy doing his damn job, Benford can now do his damn job. Bishop can do his damn job. So now certain pieces that have been added to this team only gets us a little better. It's tough for us to not have Ed Oliver, but we'll get TJ Sanders coming back in the next few weeks. That'll be nice. That'll be a nice addition to the team. You got Greg Rousseau playing ball. He's balling out right now. You got Joey Bosa that came out and balled out. And you got AJ Epinesa that's doing a fantastic job on the edge as well. Larry Ogunjobi coming in. So we have some things on this defense. So we didn't make a move in the trade deadline. Okay, not the end of the world. Absolutely not the end of the world. Does it hurt not to have Hoyt and obviously Ed Oliver? Yes, it does. But you know what? Next man up. That's how it works. And guess what? Max Hairston got his opportunity. Next man up. Is Jordan Hancock going to get his opportunity? Next man up. Cole Bishop doing great things, developing and doing it. Next man up. It's just what it is. Taylor Rapp goes down. Poyer comes up. You see the difference on the defense. Next man up. Just what it is. It's just what it is, baby. So the way I'm looking at it now is, yes, we did not make some trades. It ain't the end of the world. Sometimes the trades you don't make or the moves you don't make is probably the best move. Probably the best move. Now, I may get some guys that push back, and I'm good with that. We're not supposed to see everything eye to eye. You guys know that. What kind of fan base would we be if we all saw everything the same? Heck no. Not at all. By the way, shout out to everybody tuned in right now. We got over 250 people watching on YouTube and another 900, almost 1,000 people watching on X. Salute to y'all. Do me a favor. If you're not sharing this stream, go ahead and share the stream. If you're not liking the stream, go ahead and like that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Oh, by the way, if you haven't hit that bell to know when we go live, go ahead and hit that bell notification so you can be part of the Noti gang and know when we go live. Hit me with that. Let's go. All right. Before I come back, I got to hit this. Let me hit this super chat real quick, and then we'll get right to it. My man, Dio. My man, Dio says, yo, Rico, you mind hitting that horn real quick? You know what? Just for you. Just for my boy, Dio. I hit that horn just for my mans. All right. Let me get to my guy, Signified Nose, 19 months being a member. Salute to you, my guy, Sig. He goes, yo, we're one injury on offense away from Rico looking real dumb for making fun of people on crying that our GM sat with his thumb up his ass. All right, Signified Nose, you want to come for me? It's cool. I love it. So the same could be said for Drake May going down. The same could be said for Matthew Stafford going down. The same could be said for name a player. Name a player. That's to me, if you're gonna bring something up like this and you want everybody to see your comment, come with it at least. Every team is one player, significant player away from being in a tough position. Come on, man. That's elementary. I expect better than that from you, Signified Nose. We're one injury on offense away from Rico looking down. What do you mean? What do you mean? Jalen Hurts goes down. I don't even know who the backup quarterback is for the Eagles. That changes. That changes completely. Give me a team that went from, look at 49ers are doing well right now, but look at the injuries that these guys are going through. They're going through injuries, right? Next man up. It has to happen. But there are big time players that go down. It affects their season. Go back to the 2008 Patriots. Brady goes down. Castle comes in. Was it the same team? No. Come on, Signified Nose. I expect better than that from you, bro. I expect way better than that from you. Yes, and fans are crying. They're whining, and they're going to be the same fans cheering this team on when we go on a run. Give me a break, man. Come on now. You be better than that, kid. Be better than that. Be better than that. My man Walter says, yo, you sound like a prisoner of the moment. This is the comment I wanted to say. You sound like a prisoner of the moment. He says his one good game offensively doesn't wipe away the inconsistent play we've seen in the past game most of the season. Here's the deal. Here's what I say. Sometimes that one good game is what it starts a chain of momentum. You know that. We all know that. Sometimes it takes one game, one win becomes contagious. You want to keep that feeling and you want it to continue. Now, if the Bills go next week and poo-poo the bed, then yes, you have every right to say that. But I also know that winning, and when you find a rhythm, it means something. Josh going 23 of 26 for 88% completion percentage is a great thing. You can't tell me it's not a great thing. Does that now give him the confidence and give him, you mean I found my flow back? Absolutely. Next week, he's going to be like, you know what? I think I found a rhythm here. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Obviously, every game plan is completely different, but you want to keep it going. So although I understand what you're saying, you don't want to be prisoner of the moment, but momentum is a hell of a drug. And when you get momentum and you start to see things going, the run game is solid. Brady looked like he understood the game plan. He had a great game plan, and we beat a good opponent. It wasn't some scrub opponent. We beat an opponent that has beaten our butts in the playoffs, and they needed to win this game because going 5-4, and you still have to play the Broncos, you still have to play the Chargers, and there's a slew over the tough games you can play. They could potentially miss the playoffs. They are the number 8 team right now in the conference. The Chiefs could actually miss the playoffs. Come on now. And here's the funny thing. I have a buddy of mine that he's a Chiefs guy. And we went to shoot the shit. We went to talk to him, and we're talking. And I was like, fam, tell me something. Likelihood that you could see the Chiefs missing the playoffs. And he's not a homer. He's a real, he call it like it is, right? And he goes, honestly, yeah, I could see it I could see us missing the playoffs. Is it likely? You probably don't want it. They're definitely going to be a wild card team. Are they going to win their division? Probably not. But could they miss the playoffs? Yeah, I could totally see it. It can happen. It can absolutely happen. So people saying, oh, it was a regular season win, so it really doesn't matter. It does matter because we needed that win because the Bills falling to a conference team again wouldn't have been good. Now we've put the pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't care what they do going forward. We got the dub. It matters, but that's momentum. We needed that momentum. That's a strong momentum game that we needed. Now, does this loss take the Chiefs into a spiral? They're going into a bye with a loss. Are they going to be pissed off when they come back? Of course they will. I'm not sure who they play afterwards, but those wins matter. I don't care what he tells me. That's my thing. Those wins matter for me. So that being said, that's the way I look at it. And I love that this is the segment that we can come in and bring my guy Carl Jones in. He just has to give me a thumbs up when he's good and ready. Oh, yeah, he good? Oh, he pumped. I don't know. There was a lot of energy with that thumbs up. All right, B. So that being said, and I love the comments that are coming in. And they play the Broncos next. There you go. So they got to go in on a bye and play the red-hot Broncos with a 6-game win streak. I hope the Broncos come in and put belt to A against the Chiefs and now really put them in a predicament. Really put them in a predicament. Put them on a 500 ball game. And you still got to play a lot of tough teams going forward? Give me that. Give me that. And by the way, I'm so glad the Chiefs did not trade for Breece Hall. I would have been in shambles. I would have been distraught if the Chiefs were able to acquire Breece Hall. My goodness. Thank goodness that didn't happen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to just do this all by myself. I'm going to bring my guy in, Mr. Carl Jones. Carl Jones, what it do?
What up? What up? How we doing, baby?
Listen, man, people trying to come for me because the Bills, I'm trying to tell people, hey, man, quit crying that the Bills didn't make a trade. Quit crying. And they're like, well, you can't. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but they're saying, hey, you're being a prisoner of the moment. You look dumb saying that because if we're one injury on offense away from being poo-poo, and I'm like, isn't every team one good player on offense away from being poo-poo? Absolutely. So cut it out with that nonsense. I'm not buying it. But you know what I am buying? I'm buying that. I got my guy right next to me, ready to do the big thing. So talk to me. We're gonna get into the game a little bit, but I want to get your thoughts on what didn't happen or what did happen, right? And the trade deadline. Were you, let's just say, were you surprised, shocked that Brandon Beane did not make a move today?
Yeah, I was a little shocked in terms of the fact that I thought they were going to make a move on the defensive line. They have a hole right now at defensive end in particular. Let's just say at defensive tackle, they are hopeful that Daquan Jones can return within the next few weeks. And the same thing with TJ Sanders if and when he returns off of IR. So that gives you Daquan Jones, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, Larry Ogunjobi, and Jordan Phillips as your 5 BTs. But at the end, they've shown that they don't trust Javon Solomon nor Landon Jackson to be every down players for them. They've shown Javon Solomon in like bits and pieces and roles, but in terms of 40 to 50% snap count guys, they just haven't put that faith into those players. So I thought they were going to bring in a defensive end to be that player to fill up those snaps, because they have the top 3 with AJ, Joey, and Greg. So like I think of a player like Draymond Jones that went to Baltimore yesterday, like that type of caliber of player, where a solid player, nothing to like write home about, but just something to shore up the depth chart. Doesn't surprise me that they worked out 3 defensive ends today. So I think that the Bills are onto something there in terms of trying to figure that out. In terms of the receiver discussion, I'm sure that's a sexy thing that everyone in the comments is probably inquiring about. I've told you, I thought if they were to attract someone, they had to go get like an alpha, a wide receiver 1, because they have a bunch of just complementary pieces right now. The Rashid Shaheed thing is interesting because they just don't have that skill set at the moment. But the Seahawks basically gave up the equivalent of a 3rd round pick, giving up a 4th and a 5th. So that is probably the cutoff as to where Brandon Beane and a lot of these top executives will want to go with Rashid Shaheed for 3 months. But in terms of receiver, not too shocked considering that only one of them or a couple of them got moved.
What do you think of this comment here by my man Koala? That says, some fans, not all, but he says some fans just want new toys just for the sake of we acquire something, and now there becomes expectation for said player that you trade for. Your thoughts on that type of comment that comes in?
Yeah, but I think that's all of us, though. I mean, not just in football, like basketball, like that's just life in general. You just want something new for the sake of having something new. Like the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes what's at home is better than what's out there in the streets. I'm sure you guys can take that however you want to take it. But I understand. I completely get that. But look out there on the market. It is what it is. And I don't think people are wrong for feeling that way. But they felt as if there wasn't a move out there that could have helped them. Yes, Red Lobster. Yes, Hoecht, all that IO. I know I got 2 diplomas from them boys, but y'all know where my heart bleeds with them boys down in the Buckeye State. But nonetheless, though, a little shocked about this trade deadline, but not like devastatingly where I'm going to crush Brandon Beane.
And here's where I am at. I'm not devastated at all that we didn't make a trade. Like in all honesty, I didn't think that we were going to make a move today, unless the move was like, this is a no-brainer. We need that, and we're going to give up more, because like we were in a buyer's market, and we were in need. So like we would have had to give up more than we wanted to. So and teams know that the Bills are desperate. So guess what? If you want something, it's going to cost you. The one trade I probably would have made and given up the 4 and 5 would have been for Shaheed. But my question would have then become, would he have been big enough of an asset to this team that you give up 4 and 5? Because the same fans that would have been happy about it, like myself, I would have been good. I would have been also during draft time saying, golly, we gave up the 4th and 5, and then we didn't even re-sign Shaheed. He's now a free agent. So now you run that risk. So that's the thing.
Also, on that line of thinking with Shaheed, I didn't want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
The Bills, from their perspective, I'm not in their shoes, but let's just be them for a second here. If you were to make that move, you are essentially saying either A, Keon Coleman is done, or B, Josh Palmer is a bust. That's what you're saying, because at the 3 those are your 2 outside receivers at the moment. And obviously Shaheed wouldn't be your slot. The Bills got 10,000 of those at the moment. So like you're basically cutting off the development of Keon. And listen, there's a lot that we've seen with Keon that hasn't been the most exciting, but the Bills front office and coaches would essentially be saying it's over with. And then Josh Palmer, you will be saying we wasted that signing that we made a few months ago. So I get it. And that's why if I would have made a trade, it would have been for a higher end player. So it makes sense to cut off a Keon or makes sense to cut off a Josh Palmer.
You couldn't have said it better. You couldn't have said it better. If you're going to go for it, go for it. And I think why you didn't see the Bills pull the trigger is because they were probably going for it. So maybe it would have been, BTJ over at Jacksonville. Maybe that could have happened. Maybe it wasn't on the table. Maybe Garrett Wilson, they're like, that's absolutely not touchable. Maybe they were trying to, fish something out of New York because they were on a fire sale today. So maybe that didn't happen. So that would have been something that I think all of us would have been like, all right, boom, we got it. But like, I'm not disparaging anything about Shaheed, but Shaheed, you rent him for 3 months, and then now what? Now he's like, yo, I want to get paid $20 mil a year. You're gonna be like, nah, bro. And now you got rid of your your fourth and fifth, and then now you don't got the player anymore. And now you're sitting here going, we don't got the draft capital, and we know how our guy loves his draft capital in Brandon Beane. By the way, speaking of Brandon Beane, my man I'm Tired says, yo, most fans are just sick of mediocrity and depending on Josh Allen to be Superman every damn year. Let me ask you something, Mr. I Am Tired. Have we asked Josh Allen to put the cape on in the last 7 weeks? Be real. Have we asked Josh Allen to put the cape on and be Superman in the last 7 weeks? No, it's an old, I'm tired. That's an old tired line that you're using that we want him to be Superman because he hasn't been. You know who has been the guy? James Cook. James Cook has been the guy that we've been leaning on and allowing Josh not to be Superman. So that's a great thing. So to me, I'm looking at it like we're well balanced. We just need to see a little bit more comfort with Josh utilizing his weapons alongside Joe Brady and then putting their minds together and making something happen. That's just the way I look at it. All right. So let me share some trade scenarios that took place today, and I want your thoughts on that. So Jalen Phillips, the Miami and Philly trade. Obviously Philadelphia gets Jalen Phillips, and Philly gets Miami Dolphins get a 3rd round pick. Your thoughts on that trade? Was that a one that you're like, man, I didn't see that one coming? That's pretty crazy, or you're not really in on that trade?
No, I mean, there's been a lot of rumors about Philly acquiring an edge rusher. They've obviously Nolan Smith has been out, I believe, either torn tricep or bicep. And then they had what's DN retired on him in the middle of the Zadarius Smith retired on him. So they've been in the market for a pass rusher, and I think Jalen Phillips is the exact guy that they should bet on. Where if he hits, he is going to be a really darn good player. Awesome. Like he's going to be a really good player. And he has a lot of injury history. So if you're the Dolphins, you may be reluctant to give him the big term deal because he hasn't been on the field a lot. But if he's in Philly, and let's just say best case scenario, and come January 15th, if everyone's healthy, you will have Jalen Carter, who is one of the best defensive tackles, if not the best defensive tackle in the sport, alongside Nolan Smith and then Jalen Phillips. Yep. He is going to see one-on-one coverage his entire time there, which maybe that wasn't the case down there in Miami. So I think it's super exciting. If you're Philly, you go all in. They have a boatload of 3rd round picks with all the comp picks. And Philly, they're very progressive and forward-thinking front office. So I want to give them credit for how they do things. If you're Miami, I'm all in. They should.
So you guys are you got nothing. You got nothing. I get it. Cincinnati, Logan Wilson, linebacker, going to the Dallas Cowboys. I thought that was a big time move for Dallas. They weren't done. They went and got Quinnen Williams on top of that. So they've definitely bolstered that linebacking core alongside the defensive tackle. Now you got Clark and you got my man Quinnen Williams in the middle of that defense. How nasty is that for the Dallas Cowboys, and how much do they need that? And how does Jerry Jones look to people now that he made two big time trades for 2 impactful players on this defense? Your thoughts on that, Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, Jerry talking on both sides of his mouth, though, because like he said today, I'm getting up there in age. I don't know how many of these I got left, but then you traded one of the best defensive players we've seen in the last 10 years, 2 months ago. So like Jerry, unless you age 10 years in 2 months, my boy, I don't know what you're talking about. But in all seriousness, no, Quinnen Williams, obviously Bills fans know, is an all-pro player. Logan Wilson is a starting caliber backer, which they just haven't had this year. So that'll be on paper an upgrade for them. I will say from a Jets perspective, I do really like them getting a 2027 first, because for those who aren't tuned in with the college football space, there are a bunch of creatures that are sophomores right now that should be fabulous players and very intriguing. So having 3 first-round picks or 2, however many first-round picks they got 2 years from now, I thought that was good business by them.
I like it. All right, let's keep it rolling with that. So Dallas has bolstered their team. How about this one? Jacoby Myers going to Jacksonville. So now you got Brian Tom, you got BTJ, and you got Jacoby Myers. Obviously, when Hunter comes back, you'll have you have some weapons for Mr. Sunshine himself. Your thoughts on Jacoby Myers? Big difference maker for these guys, or just an okay receiver?
Well, I think he's a good player, and I think he fits what they want to do because, in theory, if BTJ is your vertical guy and you just keep him outside of the numbers, traditional X receiver, think old school, and then Travis Hunter can be kind of your dual dog guy. Jacoby Myers is that intermediate to short range player that could occupy that part of the field that could really help out of Trevor Lawrence. All those highlights or lowlights you've seen of BTJ this year have been over the middle of the field, which isn't really his game as he's shown. Well, that can be where Jacoby Myers fits in and helps out Trevor in that regard. So I'm interested to see if they re-sign him this offseason. You probably have to after trading capital for him. But BTJ and Travis are going to be cheap for the next 3 years. So I don't see why they couldn't give him a decent deal.
Yeah, and it would have been really tough for me to see Jacksonville give up Brian. You can't. How do you do that, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Another thing too is, what do the Bills have to offer when they're trading for these said players, right? Why didn't the Bills do anything? Why didn't they do anything? You're gonna have to give something up, and you're gonna have to give something of value, right? Something that's up there. So what would the Bills have given up for some of these players that we so coveted so much in terms of draft picks? Like, we need our draft capital because we ain't got the money, so we got to do everything we can to bolster this team. And how do you bolster it? In the draft, if you do it right. So that's the way I look at it with one regards. All right, the biggest trade of the day, in my opinion, obviously I think we all know that is the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. Adonai Mitchell, first round 2026, first round 2027, and they will receive the Indianapolis Colts will receive Sauce Gardner at the end of the day. Your thoughts on Sauce Gardner going over to the Indianapolis Colts? Now, before you jump in on that, all I've been hearing and seeing is that the Jets fleeced the Colts. How could the Colts fall for this? Sauce hasn't been the corner that they claim that he is. He had first two years were fantastic. These last two have been, ASS, not good. Your thoughts on this, and maybe new scenery, better defensive coordinator. Does he reinvent himself and show you why he's Sauce Gardner? Talk to me on that trade. AD Mitchell, 2 first-round picks. And my man Sauce Gardner.
I think on the surface, I like both. It may seem like a bit of an overpay for a cornerback that's not a playmaker, because there aren't many cornerbacks in the NFL that are playmakers. I mean, Stingley, PS2, and I think Denzel Ward is that. But we're splitting hairs in terms of guys who are playmakers. There's a lot of fantastic cornerbacks. But giving up 2 1s for a corner, you better be PS2. You better be PS2. So I don't know about the price that they gave up, but in terms of the on-field player, I think schematically is a much better fit for Sauce. Sauce isn't a heavy man guy. That's just not who he is. He's a much better fit in zone. You saw that at the University of Cincinnati, and even the first few years with Robert Saleh, they weren't a heavy man team, and now he gets to play with Lou Anarumo, who obviously Bills fans know can cook up some nasty stuff on the back end. He did it with all those years with the Bengals. So now if you're the Colts, you have Cam Bynum back there at safety. You have Kenny Moore in the slot. You have Mooney Ward when he gets off of IR, that concussion he suffered earlier this year, and Sauce Gardner. That's a real funky secondary that you can do a lot of creative stuff with. Now, in terms of the draft capital, if you're the Jets, well, that contract really wasn't helpful for us, so might as well sell high in the moment and hopefully buy low on a wide receiver that has a lot of traits in AD Mitchell. So I like the move from both parties. It's a bit of an overpay, but in terms of just this on-field, what Sauce Gardner can do, I think he's going to step up and shine in Indianapolis.
Listen, I think that this is on brand for the Colts. You have a new owner, if you will, that's been heavily involved with what's happening, and I think Mrs. Irsay may have taken a page from the Rams and said, "Yo, if our issue right now is corner and we don't have one, and we got 2 first-round picks that we can give up, and we have a quarterback that that isn't getting paid like top tier,
Right.
but he's getting paid decent, fam, go and get your guy. Go and get your guy if that's what's going to bring it. And right now, I have a buddy of mine, Lawrence Owen. He's a Colts content creator. If you guys, I've had Owen on our show before. And right now I was joking with him. I was like, yo, what's it going to take to get AD Mitchell, man? What do you need? You want Trey White? I can give you Trey White. He's like, bro, we need a real top dog corner because everything on this defense is great. It's just that we're just getting beat. And he's like, let me tell you something. Let me show you something. He goes, the last 5 weeks, the Colts have had they've been the number 2 in the league in QB pressures. These guys the pressure rate has been nasty. So now go ahead and get a corner that can shut down the side of the field or whatever they decide to do. This Colts team could be a dangerous team. And sometimes you need a player. If you're going to trade for a player, you want to be a player that's going to be a difference maker. What bigger difference can a player make than a corner that can shut down half a field? Now, is Sauce that guy? Debatable. In this defense, could he be? Who knows? But one thing's for sure, they definitely got themselves a team that you gotta really pay attention to the squad because you got some good ones out there. So shout out to the Colts. They really did the damn thing, and let's keep it rolling. Now, aside from the trades, I know I got you for a few more minutes, so let's get into real quick your thoughts on this Kansas City game that we just had, and your overall thoughts. I saw some film that you put up there. Fantastic, by the way. I love, by the way, the voiceovers. Keep it up, baby. That's what I need. I need that. I need more of that stuff, man. So talk to me. Your thoughts overall on the game. Max Harrison, Cole Bishop, the offense, the flow, the whole thing. The floor is yours. Talk to me. What do you think?
I'll start with the offense because I think that's what we learned the least about with that team, with that side of the ball. When they're ahead of the sticks and they are humming, they are an elite unit. We knew this going into the game, and I don't think that game really changed anything about how I feel about them. They can run the ball on anyone if they have the right looks. And then they respectfully gave number 23, I'm not going to call anybody out, number 23, the Chiefs linebacker, they gave him the red dot treatment where they found him a lot and they took advantage of that weak spot on the Chiefs defense. So that's good on Joe Brady, good on everybody for executing that. So when they're humming and they are ahead and not trailing and the offensive line can win, Bills offense A+ like we saw Sunday. What's cool, though, is that defensively they did some stuff that we hadn't seen, quite frankly, in a very long time. Obviously, the athletic youth that they pushed into this defense via the draft, most notably Max Harrison and Cole Bishop shine. Yep. Max had a few plays. Obviously, he only played 50% of the snaps, and he really had 2 plays where he stood out. Obviously, the track meet that he had with Xavier Worthy down the sideline was beautiful. Teach tape and how he executed that. And then also the interception that he had was, quite frankly, was more of a Bishop play and how Bishop executed that. But I will say this about Max, about his play with Xavier Worthy. That's so cool. And for a Bills fan, just to peel back the curtain a bit. The Bills in that play gave off the illusion that they were playing press man coverage. So that means that Max Harrison should have his back to the quarterback. And then on the snap, they bail into a cover 3 look, which means Max Harrison has visual and eyes on the quarterback.
And are we talking on the Max Harrison interception?
No, we're talking about the incompletion down the sideline, right in front of the Bills sideline to Xavier Worthy. The first one, the go ball, the straight go ball, track meet.
Oh, the stride for stride.
Yeah. And so they were in press man look, and then they bailed into a cover 3 look and executed that. You can get away with that call when the cornerback is super athletic. Because let's just say that, I'm not going to call anyone out. Let's just say it's me right now in my bum hamstrings. I can't be in press man and bail in the cover 3 because I don't have the speed to stay on top. Actually, this is play right here. So if you guys look at Max Harrison right now, you pause it right now. If you look at Max, the Bills are in a man look. Yeah, pause it. Are in a man look across the board. But on the snap, let it play for a little bit. And then on the snap, all right, let it stop. On the snap, they are in a cover 3 look. And you can't play press bail from that if that corner isn't a really good athlete. They wouldn't be able to do that with Trey White. Because if they did, bombs away, we don't think that you can run step for step with that guy and still give off the man coverage disguise. If you guys know what I'm picking up there. So when you have guys who are really athletic, you can do some funky things disguise-wise. Because I promise y'all, if this was Trey White right here, Trey White is 7 yards off the ball and the jig is up. They know it's not man.
The jig is up right here. The jig is up right here.
Yeah, it's strike up the band. So I think that's what's cool. Max didn't make a lot of plays, but I thought he made 2 that should get you really excited about his trajectory going forward. Now, Cole Bishop was the one that was dope. He really put together for the first time in terms of the totality of a game, his athleticism plus instincts. He did it from the nickel position. He did it rolling down from safety. He did it at center field. That's the stuff that should get you juiced up as a Bills fan, because coming out of Utah, he was more of a box guy. He was more of a safety where you're like, oh, man, like, okay, just keep him around the line of scrimmage, cover tight ends, and do things of that nature. Well, that boy did everything. You see him right here covering a tight end, pressed up on the line of scrimmage. He did that. Later in the game, that boy guarded Xavier Worthy across the field. Later in the game, he was center field, did a baseball turn on the play where Max Harrison picked it off, and would have got the pick if Max didn't get it. He was everywhere. He was the low hole defender on one play and came off of the man look, played zone, and got the PBU on Rashee Rice on 4th down. He made so many great plays that should get you excited about his development. Obviously, it's one game. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that he's some great player or anything of the sorts, but I'll just say it was super dope in how he executed. Like, one play, a nickel running across the field with Xavier Worthy. The very next play, my man, you think his man is not, zone, come off there, PBU. Should have been a turnover. We'll talk about the scorekeepers with that one. Then, obviously, I can hit 2, thump Travis Kelce right in the midsection. Like, these are all different things from the safety position. Then the next play, he's at safety. Scratch that. Let me roll down, make a tackle in space. One of the hardest things to do in football. That's why I'm talking to y'all right now. I ain't got a helmet on because I couldn't do that. And then I think later on in this clip, we are at the half-field safety. We got to plaster to a guy at scramble drill. Okay, I got to find this guy that's going to make another play on the ball. Once again, and when you max the instincts with the athleticism. And then this play is beauty, man, because we didn't know he had it in his bag. Who knew that Cole Bishop was a center field guy? He never did it at Utah. He never did. And the Bills, he hasn't done it either. So if he can do that again, this is an underrated play that I didn't see live because I was in the tunnel. This was close to being caught.
That was. Yeah. I'm seeing it right now.
So, like,
yo, who is this guy, man? Listen.
So he and listen, I know a lot of people are
run that back. I got to run that back.
Yeah, like Tyquan Thornton, like, there was a picture of it. He had the ball in his hands. Bishop just got it out. Like, that was a hell of a play by Cole. So I just want to say that I know a lot of people are saying this is Jordan Poyer, this is yada, yada, yada. As a former player myself, I am always a man in the arena guy. Cole Bishop is the man in the arena. He is the one that has to strap up on them pads and go out there and execute the calls. And good on that brother for executing those calls and playing the way he did Sunday, because there is nothing more exciting than a guy who has taken his lumps, was maybe written off at times, and went out there and played like that on a stage where 31 million people, I think, were watching.
You couldn't have said that better. And what timing was that? Because that's it. You got to get out of here. You got stuff to do. I appreciate it, because I would have sat and had you just break all that stuff down, because those are things we need to see. And you guys have been listening to Carl Jones for over 2 years now. This is the most excited I've ever heard this guy talk about Deebo. He's ready to go, man. He likes what he sees out of Cole Bishop. The real question that I got for you now is, has Cole Bishop arrived?
Yeah. You see, you're doing too much. Rico. You know me now. Too much. You know me now. I need to see it over and over again, but I will keep reiterating it though.
I got you.
Excited. You should be excited. Don't be up in the chats and today and in the message boards talking about y'all got a Pro Bowler on your hands. Now slow your roll. Got too much dip on your chip. I know where you was about to go with that now.
Yeah, I had to test you. I had to see it. Yo, is he back? Is he right?
I don't know about all that, but I do know what he did on Sunday is dope. And the most important thing, because I talked about this after the game on TV, was most exciting is that it wasn't anything that was out of body or that was superhuman. Like the Saints interception, I'm not really asking guys to make that play too often. That was kind of freaky, coming across the field interception. But none of those plays that you saw him make, did you think were like otherworldly, did you? You didn't think they were like, oh, he can't do that again. That's where you should be excited, because once you match the athleticism with the instincts, that's when you get a ball player. And that's why I'm sitting here in a polo and my helmet's behind me, because I couldn't do it. So shout out to Cole.
Listen, what a great breakdown. I appreciate that. If you guys have not seen enough of these breakdowns, go ahead and follow my guy, Carl Jones, Jones11_. Quit playing and go ahead and follow my man's. My man's is doing it. He's getting warmed up. He's only getting warmed up right now. I see it coming. So appreciate you, my G. And obviously I would have loved to have more more conversation, but we're gonna do it next week. We're gonna keep it cracking.
Yeah, listen, your boy. I'm actually, for those at home, I will get the chance to sit down with Max tomorrow, and some of that content will be on the way. I'll follow my X feed and when the stuff coming out, but I will be sitting down with the first round pick. We'll chop it up, and y'all get to learn more about the boy from Detroit, wherever the hell you're from.
Yeah, that's it, man. You listen, man. Have yourself a great day. We'll catch you on the flip, man.
Y'all be. By the way, I was in Toronto this week. It was super cold. Y'all fixed that. RB
Hold on. You were whining about 7, 8, 9 degrees, boy. That's nothing. I was about to get on your ass for that, man. That's nothing, man.
Listen, I don't do this. I don't. And I know I'm from Cleveland. I know
you're from Cleveland, man.
I don't give a damn. That's how you know I don't like it, because I grew up here, so I know. Like, I got 25 years of knowledge on how I don't like this. But regardless, shout out to the 716. Shout out to Cleveland. Shout out to my Buckeyes. Everybody in the chat. Shout out to Rico. See y'all boys next week. Be love.
Yes, sir. Peace. Look at that. Listen, he's getting too smooth with that. I mean, he had that button ready to exit, and he was like, shout out. He's out of here. Man, I had to get on my man's butt on his behind because he was in Toronto covering the Blue Jays, and I really was hoping the Blue Jays would have handled business, but he was out there for Game 6, and that would have been a party in Toronto, but it didn't work out, and my man was whining about some cold. It was a little chilly. Man, it was a little bit of breeze. Man, relax, bro. Relax. Anyway, shout out to my man Carl Jones. Always a great time when he comes onto the show. If you guys appreciate my man Carl, do me a favor. Don't like this stream from me. Like this stream from my man Carl. Hit that like right this second, and let's roll. All right. Let's get to this Kansas City game that we just had. What a game, first and foremost. What a game, first and foremost. And I wanted to get in on the good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly is, I feel like it's been a while since I've jumped on the good, the bad, the ugly. And we gotta jump on that. By the way, I have not checked out my man Bartek. I have not checked out the video. Maybe this might be a time to click that video and put it on here. So go ahead and I'll try to chime it up if I have the time to do this. Right. So anyway, let's keep it rolling. Before we get into that, let me just put a button in this trade deadline and the whole situation. So the question now becomes, was it a smart move by Beane not to overspend, if you will, or give up more than he really should for a player that may not make a big difference on this team? And if you're going to swing for something, wouldn't you swing for something huge? And if you can't get that big acquisition, if you can't get the big time player, don't go ahead and put your money out there, right? If you're gonna go broke on something that is gonna be a big difference to you on your team. And maybe Brandon Beane didn't see what he liked, right? Whether it's true that he was going for Calvin Ridley, whether it was true that he was maybe he was one of the teams acquiring for Garrett Wilson. Who knows? But what we do know is he's never afraid to pull the trigger. Jokes aside, he's never afraid to pull the trigger. He gave up a third for Amari Cooper because he felt that would have been a big difference maker. And I think we all felt that way. Dude, we got Amari Cooper with Josh Allen. Bro, this offense is going to be nice. It never just quite worked out. Maybe it was just a matter of it not being a great fit. However, if he was able to make a move this trade deadline today, I'm sure that we would have been talking about it today right now. But the fact that he did not pull the trigger, it goes to tell you that just maybe it just wasn't enough to sway him enough and not have to give up too much. Now, is there someone that, like, out of everybody that was made available by trade today, is there one of them that I would have like definitely jumped on? I mean, AD Mitchell was one of them that would have been inexpensive, but then you would have had to give something up for AD Mitchell. And these guys know that we're desperate. So that means you're giving up a lot more. So are you willing to give up a second for AD Mitchell? I don't think so. Are you willing to give up a third for AD Mitchell? Is he going to make that much of a difference for you? Who knows at that point? So those are the things that I'm referring to. So it has to make sense. Just making a trade just for the heck of it it doesn't make sense. Because it's gotta fit for not only your quarterback and fit for not only your team, but fit for the locker room. And Amari Cooper, I'll use Amari Cooper because he's the last guy we traded for as a receiver. Good receiver, great receiver, bad fit. So if you're a bad GM, in my opinion, you go and swing again and something you miss on, because that third round pick that we did not have last year, I felt that it was a pain in my butt. I would have really loved to have that, but we have to, maneuver some things around. Anyway, that's not the point. The point I'm trying to make is you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. So if it didn't work out because we swung for some and it wasn't the same, you're more calculated. You're more calculated on the move you're going to make. And I think Brandon Beane is smart enough to say, ain't nothing out there that's good enough for me. So that's why I didn't do it. So was it a smart move or a missed opportunity? Now, where I may find the missed opportunity is trying to find a defensive tackle to fill that void, right? Where could there have been somewhere that we could have grabbed someone in this place, right? So here's the deal. Maybe there wasn't anybody that stood out. Now, is there now more reason for McDermott and everybody to get creative and find ways to make things happen? I think that's the route we're going. Now, we've seen guys develop. We've seen guys develop at their own time and coming in and doing what they need to do. We still got a third-round pick. I believe it was third round. It was a third-round pick that yet has touched the field, right, to really make an impact. He's been on the field, but never an impact. Was he playing last week? No, inactive. He's been inactive most of this year. We would love to see something from Landon Jackson. So this would be a moment where Landon Jackson steps up and really tries to find his way onto the field and make an impact. But right now he hasn't, because if he had, he'd be touching the field as often. Some are looking at this as what a wasted pick in Landon Jackson. And as of right now, it does look like a wasted pick. But you guys have to also know that you need time to develop. Everybody has a different time frame that they develop. Case in point, Cole Bishop. Now, injuries did play a part in Cole Bishop's development. Obviously, he wasn't able to kind of have a full training camp his rookie year, and then some of that happened this year again, but he was still able to come in, and you can see the fruits of that labor working out right now. Fantastic game he had last week. We need to see it again and duplicate. But the real, I bring this up is because sometimes these guys take time to develop, right? So we gotta take full advantage of the guys that we have on our squad, because we didn't make a trade. So guess what? Everybody's got to put a hand in the pot and make things work. So missed opportunity. Could we have grabbed a defensive lineman somewhere? Was there anybody that was intriguing enough to us? And that's where you're just unsure. This is why I'm hoping that certain news comes out. I mean, I love hearing when news comes out that the Bills were looking at this said player, because it goes to show you that, okay, they were actually really trying to make something happen. But if they didn't, and they're banking on Ed Oliver coming back first week of playoffs, and they're banking on TJ Sanders coming back and really, being a big difference maker, Deion Walker continuing to develop and do what he does. We get Daquan Jones back, Larry Ogunjobi's back in this thing. It really just blows that Michael Hoj is gone. It sucks. And that was the biggest thing that I was looking forward to in this defense. Max Harrison getting his, Cole Bishop. So there are some things to look forward to. There are some really positive things to look forward to. It's just a matter of when they all click and come together. So that's my putting a button in it in terms of this trade deadline. The Bills did not do anything. Were there some missed opportunities? Yes. Was it a smart move not to overspend, in my opinion? Yes. We did it last year with Amari Cooper. Well, you saw how that worked out. It was useless. And on top of that, him getting hurt didn't help. So here we are yet again in a scenario that we are in control of our own destiny. And what that means is figure out what you got in your locker room, figure out what you got on your team, and get good use out of them. That's on Coach McDermott. That's on Sean McDermott. That's on Joe Brady, and that's on Josh Allen. Executing. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So that being said, let's get into the Chiefs and Bills latest matchup on that 4:00 slate. The Bills obviously getting that 28-21 victory, and really it was a dominating win. It felt like should I use dominating? I felt like we were in control. Let's put it that way. We were in control from start to finish. It never felt like we were out of it. It never felt like we didn't have the upper hand. It always felt like we had the upper hand in this game. And I love the fact that we had that feeling all game. Like going into the game, I was absolutely unsure of what product we were going to put on the field. Unsure. I can keep it a buck and keep it real. I was unsure. I wasn't even hyped for the game. I was like, man, I don't know what we're going to bring to this game. I'm uncertain. Let me just watch it and play it out. And when I noticed that these guys went the first drive, 7 minutes, put it on the board, I was like, okay, this game might be different. This game might be different. And Cole Bishop just playing out of this world. Then I was like, okay, we got some here. We got some now. So lovely to see. And you can tell that these boys put in the work, and they put in the attention to detail when it came to beating down on these Kansas City Chiefs. And right now you got these guys swirling into a bye week. So we don't know what kind of product they're going to come out with coming out of that bye. So we'll see how that all shakes out in the end for these Chiefs. But you know how we like it. We like when these Chiefs go and take that L. So we'll take that. Now, good, the bad, the ugly. Let's get into the good. Here's the good. This offense. Offense against a Spagnuolo defense was actually something to watch. It was nice. We were balanced. We remained balanced, and we were able to run the football at ease and without issue, right? And we were able to throw the football with ease and without issue. I mean, for crying out loud, Josh was 23 for 26, 88% completion percentage. One of Josh's best, if not his best performance under center when it comes to completion percentage. That being said, with those numbers, he didn't have to put the cape on. There was no need for it because we were balanced and we were able to run the football. We kept the Kansas City defense on their toes. Loved seeing every bit of that, and you want to see more of it. And I think, and I was saying this earlier, games like this give you that little bit of momentum, that little bit of juice to now have you find your way and now build off of that momentum. And who better to build your momentum than a division game? Because division games are tough. They're going to play you tough. The Miami Dolphins are going to play you tough. They know you well. So why not build off of that momentum and continue that? So keep running that football. James Cook is going to do that. You got the Miami Dolphins, one of the worst rush defenses in the game. So we should see continued success with us running the football on the ground. That's great. So that momentum continues for James Cook, and momentum continues for this offense. What I want to see is this continuation of Kincaid being featured and focused on, because now teams are going to start looking, they like playing with Kincaid, and he's on the split end. He's out there wide. He's not in. He's in line now. He's in the bunch formation. Okay, our attention is now towards stopping Kincaid, and now it opens things up for Josh. That's the hope. That's at least the hope that you're trying to get in the situation. So that was the good for me. Let's continue with the good. It was really great, not good, but great to see Cole Bishop do what he did. My goodness. Cole Bishop came in and asserted himself as, yes, I'm not a rookie anymore. Yes, I've had my lumps, but I'm developed and I'm seeing the game, and the game is slowing down for me. I can play fast. And that's exactly what you saw in this game. Covering covering tight ends, right? Playing deep thirds of the field, playing in like an outfield, like my man Carl Jones mentioned, playing on the outfield, coming in downhill and making an open field tackle while missing it, and then completing the open field tackle. That guy was absolutely sensational all over the field. He was our best defender that night, bar none. Our best defender that night, and you love to see it. And let me tell you, Joey Bosa played fantastic as well. But the story of the game was Cole Bishop, and you want to see a lot more of that. And it has a lot to do, obviously, with being in the system for a second year, also playing alongside Jordan Poyer and maybe learning alongside Jordan Poyer all year round. Listen, like my girl Laura said, we should be absolutely proud of the performance of Cole Bishop and what he was able to provide and what he was able to give to his team, a spark. This was an absolute spark. And here's a great thing. There are moments that our DBs are not going to have their best days or best rep. This is where the safety comes in the name safety. The safety comes in as that safety valve and say, yo, you messed up your route, but I got you, right? I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm with you. He was back there batting that ball down with Tyquan Thornton. He was back there, giving support on Max Harrison. If you go back to that Max Harrison interception, let me see if I can find it. If you pay attention to Cole, if Max Harrison is not there, let me see if I can try to find that in these clips. If Max Harrison is not there, ladies and gentlemen, that is an interception for Cole Beasley. Let me see if I can find it. That's an interception for Cole Beasley and, excuse me, Colby. I'm saying Cole Beasley. That's an interception for Cole Bishop. And that's where, okay, here it is. I found that clip. Take a load of this. Let me share my screen with you guys real quick, right? And let me remove this. It's good here. So if you pay attention to Cole Bishop's on the back end, if you see my screen here, Cole takes a great angle because angles is what was missing. So Cole's in his back pedal, turns his hip. He's like, nope. You see that hip? That's that quick baseball tip, that little switch to the hips, turns over, and now he's got a great angle. And look at this. If Max Harrison's not there, look at Cole. Look at Cole. Hello. He's right there. If I can let me see if I can slow this sucker down. Because those are the things that stand out. Can I slow this sucker down? Yeah, I can. Pay attention to Cole Bishop. I keep saying Cole Beasley. So there he is. That does a speed turn. There's that speed turn. Boom. Speed turn. He stays going towards that corner. Doesn't flatten out, but look at the dive. If it's not there, he's right there for that pick. Boy, Cole Bishop was all over the field, and you love to see it. That's what you want. And so great afternoon by Cole Bishop. You love to see it, and you love to see more of it. So the good, obviously, Josh Allen with a fantastic day, just hitting everybody and do what he needs to do. James Cook running the football well. The O-line was blocking their ass off. You love to see that. And obviously, with Josh Allen getting way more comfortable, you love to see what Kincaid was able to do. 6 receptions, over 100 yards. Those are the things that you want to see. You love to see, and I'm looking forward to it. And on the defense side of the ball, I listen. I can't stress it enough how great Cole Bishop was, and Max Harrison. The insertion of Max Harrison in his defense is fantastic. Here's another thing that we've been terrible at. We've been terrible, and that is penalties. Folks, the last 4 games before this game, 37 penalties. 37 penalties. Unacceptable. Like that's showing no discipline whatsoever. This past game, 2 things that stood out to me a lot. Penalties were dropped down to 4. We had 4 penalties all game. Big improvement for this team overall. That's special teams, that's defense, that's offense. Discipline. That's exactly what it showed us. Here's another thing that I loved about how well how efficient we were in this game. Our third down offense was fantastic. We went 7 for 12. What does that tell you, folks? That means we're moving the sticks. And we're continuing to hold on to the football. Nothing greater than a team that can A, convert on third downs, and B, the run game is efficient. Having an efficient run game and you're moving the sticks on third down, I'll take that all day. Double digits in passing first downs, I'll take it all day. Those are the things that we've been lacking, right? Third down offense, not great, right? Penalties galore. We haven't been at our best. The Bills have turned things around in this last game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, whether you want to call it they saved all their juice for Kansas City, so be it. Now you're reset and go back after it again. That's why I'm not mad when these guys say, hey, we're 1-0. We're 1-0. Whether it's cliche or not, we're 1-0, and I'll take it. Is there anything that I'm missing that was part of the good, the bad, the ugly, which we haven't got into the bad yet? But what was I missing? Anything I'm missing? I keep saying Cole Beasley, right? Isn't that crazy? I gotta quit that nonsense. Talk to me. What are you guys thoughts? Let's talk it out. If I missed something, let me know. Bosa was fantastic. The defensive line was great. You know what? Here's another thing. We had a pass rush, ladies and gentlemen. We had a pass rush. There were moments where we were just rushing with 4 and we were getting home. And if we weren't getting home, we weren't allowing Pat Mahomes to sit pretty and deliver footballs. We were able to keep Pat Mahomes to under 50% completion percentage. This brother wasn't hitting anything. Inaccurate, not getting his feet set because we were all over his behind. That pass rush was something. This is something that I'd love to see us build off of. Joey Bosa, sensational. Great job. This guy was just all over it, and he knew it. And nothing greater than when you have a defensive player that is very familiar with Pat Mahomes. Now he's on a competent team that is familiar with Pat Mahomes, and now you have team familiarity, and now you have individual familiarity. Now you put that together, you got yourself a damn good matchup for Joey Bosa. So big shout out to Joey Bosa's abilities and getting after it and really just putting the pressure, man, and getting after it and making that backup left tackle look like a backup left tackle. Simple as that. AJ Epinesa, fantastic. Coming in as a rotational defensive end, putting the pressure, getting after it, and put a lick on Pat Mahomes on the sideline where it was safe and it was legal. You love to see it. Now, I want to see that performance so bad next week. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be playing. I feel sorry for the brother because right now the Buffalo Bills are hungry. The Buffalo Bills, you know what I mean? They smell blood. And maybe this is that run I was referring to that we're about to make. And we make this run every year, but we got some tough opponents. We got the Dolphins now, divisional game, and then we got the Tampa Bay Bucks the week after, excuse me. So that'll be a big one. And here's what we want. We want the Bucks to take down the Patriots because I think the Patriots play the Bucks next week. So hopefully Baker Mayfield's got a little something cooked up for these Patriots, and they can take those boys down with ease. So huge game for this team. A lot of good to talk about. Let's keep it going. All right, the bad. All right, folks, what stood out to you? That was bad. What did you find that was bad? Here, I'll talk to you about one of them. 4th and 17. 4th and 17. My gosh. And with that 4th and 17, Bernard looked like he was absolutely lost. Bernard looked like he was absolutely lost on that play. And that game was not Bernard's best. And this is why when reporters and beat reporters were asking Coach, hey, what's the situation with Shaq Thompson? And what's the situation with Bernard? And Coach was non-committal. He wasn't saying, hey, this is Bernard's position and that's what it is, and there's nothing to talk about. He was non-committal. And the decision was made very easy for Coach to not have to really talk about it because Shaq Thompson was hurt with his hamstring. Now, how long he's out with the hamstring, according to Coach, it's day to day. So we should be seeing Palmer back soon. We should be seeing Shaq Thompson back soon. And then we will now see how they truly want to play this defense. Now, we're if you've noticed, we play a lot of nickel, but we have been playing a lot more base defense, which means we've been playing with 3 linebackers a lot. So we play with a lot of 3 linebackers. We play a lot of dime, and we play a good majority of is nickel. But we've been a lot of a base defense as of late. So let's focus and pay attention on what they decide to do with Bernard, Shaq Thompson, and that whole scenario with Matt Milano and everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. But for me, the bad 4th and 17. There was a big 4th and 17 play that I absolutely hated. It was too easy. And the thing that kills me the most is that your coach calls timeout for you guys to regroup, and you still give up 4th and 17. 17 yards? Are you kidding me? No, you're supposed to be a defense that is better than a lot of these defenses that are out there, and you're giving up a 4th and 17 when you know the pass is coming. Give me a break. Give me a break. It's not happening, man. They're not going to run a screen on a 4th and 17 and then, look to give it up. They were going for it, and they were going for the sticks, and we gave that up. No, man, that thing was that annoyed the heck out of me. I was like, I can't believe that. Not only that, then we had the 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11, and there was miscommunication between Hancock and Bernard was sitting there pointing, you should have been here and you should have been there. That whole situation was something we need to clean up. But giving up those big plays right there was not in our best. And here's the thing. Those 4th and 17 and 3rd and 11, it feels like the Chiefs converted a lot of those in that game. It really wasn't. They converted 3 for 13 on 3rd downs. 3 for 13. That's less than 30%. That's what you're in the 20s at this point. Not great. So defensively, overall, we did fantastic on defending the sticks and keeping these guys beyond that. But they also went for it twice on 4th down and converted 2 out of 3. But for the most part, I'll take that defensive performance over Kansas City all day, every day. But those 4th and 17s, the 3rd and longs, we cannot give those plays up and giving these guys more opportunity to go downfield. Just can't do that. But that I did not like. Prater, I mean, I guess Prater missing that field goal, whether you want to call it bad, I saw that in the comment section. I mean, listen, man, it doinked. It's not like he missed and he shanked it badly. It doinked off the sideline, whether you want to call it the wind, whether you want to call it bad luck. We'll let y'all decide on that. But the missed field goal was tough because that would have iced the game, and we're not even talking about it, right? They would have just kneeled that bitch out and call it a day. But here we are. That's what the case was. So that for me was the bad. Anything stand out for you guys in terms of the bad, other than the 4th and 17, the 3 for 11, and then they converted on that? Anything? Here's another one for me: wasted timeouts, right? And I think my man Podcast Junkie, what up? He goes, the timeouts were necessary. One of them, we would have had the penalty and given the Chiefs the first down. So whilst it's annoying, McDermott did his right thing. I know he did the right thing. But I'm mad that we had to burn the timeouts because we're not organized, right? Calling the timeout was wise, but also it's because we're not disciplined enough and organized to know where we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to be doing. We had to burn 2 timeouts. God forbid that something took place and we poo-pooed the bed, and now we're down to 1 timeout. And I don't know, let's just say the Chiefs end up scoring is 28 all, and now we got the ball back with, I don't know, a minute and change left or 2 minutes left. And that's where we want to use all our timeouts. And now we're down to 1. Let's just say the scenario played out that way. That would have sucked because guys aren't where they're supposed to be and doing what they're supposed to do and accountable. You can't have that. You got to be better. You absolutely got to be better. So that's the one thing that stood out to me in terms of the bad. That's the one thing. By the way, we got almost 1,500 people, 1,600 people watching on X. We got another almost just shy of 300 people on YouTube. Do me a favor, man. Yo, hit that like while you guys are in here. Smash that like, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. Quit playing, get to it. And if you need some motivation on remembering how to do it and all that stuff, guys, it's really easy, man. Just exit from the screen real quick. I know you'll be back. Hit that subscribe. And if you're watching from your phone, hit the bottom of the screen and you go from there. Help your boy out. Go ahead and hit that button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Let's grow this thing. And when you hit that like, folks, remember, it helps out with the channel growth, and it pushes that, the algorithms, man. You know what I mean? It pushes it out to people that, our Bills fans that don't know anything. Be surprised. To this day, we have people that are like, yo, I never knew this channel existed. Sub, love it. So do me that favor, help me out, help out the channel, do all those good things for us, and let's keep it rolling, and let's keep it buzzing. All right, next up, the ugly. I don't think we need to go anywhere else with ugly. Michael Hoj. Michael Hoj going down I'm still hurt by it. I'm absolutely still hurt by Michael Hoj going down. Why? The guy only played 2 games for us, but in those 2 games, he was absolutely impactful. He had a sack and a half last game. Just impactful. This game, he had half a sack. The guy's got 2 sacks, and he's only played 2 games. And he's pushing and pointing at people, getting them right in the right spots. I remember seeing Jordan Phillips not in the right spot. He's like, get your butt and move over there. Get going. Leadership. He took those 6 weeks off and really put it together. He took those 6 weeks and learned the defense, learned his role within this defense, and you can see it. What a spark that he brought to the Bills. And then we lose him on an Achilles tear. Dude, like how many times are we going to see players go down to a freaking Achilles injury? Golly. And here's the thing. I got to play a clip for y'all because I got to tell you how wild this guy is. Because we've seen guys. Kobe did it. We've seen guys. Who was it on the football field that you could see his Achilles buckle? I can't recall who it was. That it was just bad. It looked bad. You guys remind me who that player was. But these Achilles tears they just feel too common. They're too common. And when they go down, it's bad. I mean, listen, remember D-Hop and who was the DB that was covering D-Hop, and D-Hop was, I fear God, bro. The only person I fear is fear God. That boy went to a back pedal, pop, there goes his Achilles. It's crazy. Take a look at this clip that I'm going to play for you right now. This guy pops his Achilles, doesn't go down, and continues to make a pass rush move. Are you kidding me? Most guys that go down immediately go for their Achilles and say, golly, who the heck kicked me? This brother said, I don't care what takes place. I'm still finishing this rep. He gets back up and continues to move on the same foot. Absolutely wild. This is when you know this guy is built different. And not only that, walks himself off to the field, doesn't take a cart, doesn't do anything, doesn't go back to the sideline, and doesn't go back to the locker room. He says, nah, I'm staying with my squad, and we're going to see this thing through. Bro, this guy's a dog, man. And this is the ugly. We miss out on this. Look at this. Pops the Achilles, doesn't go down, recovers, and continues to make a pass rush, understanding his role. If I go down, this play is dead. Right now, you got 2 linemen on one. He's like, yo, let me at least occupy one guy. Look at this. Boom. Gets back up. 65 then has to take him. 52's paying attention. And then lets the play keep going. Man, unbelievable. This guy is a warrior. This guy is tough as nails. And listen, it's unbelievable. That's the only thing I can tell you guys. It's unbelievable when you see a guy like that and we lose him. That is ugly to me. That's you can talk about all the ugly things that take place. That stood out to me. I was like, oh man. And now it's a void that we have to fill. Not only did we lose Ed Oliver, now we lose Michael Hoj. Imagine these two guys right now in this defense and the way we're playing, and Cole Bishop coming into his own. We just can't have nice things. We just can't have nice things, man. Every time we're close to having nice things, bro, we got to go through it. But we're not the only team going through it. You go take a look at the 49ers, the amount of guys that they've been losing the last 2 years, and now they lose their first-round draft pick in Michael Williams. Bro, it's tough. It's tough, man. That's what it is, man. Grand opening, grand closing, man. That's what sucks about losing Hoecht, man. What a tough loss to lose with Michael Hoj going down. So to me, that's what stood out as being ugly in this regard. So anything else stand out for you that was ugly? Was there something that was in that game where you're like, yo, don't forget to talk about this because we hated this or this, that, and the third? To me, dropping the Kansas City Chiefs to 5-4, the Bills propping themselves up to 6-2, now with some momentum behind them. Listen, I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day. So salute to each and every one of you guys in this chat. I'm gonna play a little clip here. So I can play for you guys, courtesy of my guy Bartek, and he says for me to listen at the 2 minute. That starts at the 2:30 mark. So let me. Bartek's gonna get me flagged because it's a YouTube video, but you know what? I'll do it for you, Bartek, because you're my guy. So 2-minute mark. You say it's at the 2-minute mark? Yes, it is. It is at the 2-minute mark. So the 2:30 mark. So let me just pause that real quick, and then we'll get it played in a second. So this was the Colin Cowherd show, actually. Okay, let me just remove that real quick and share my screen. Share the old screen. By the way, shout out to everybody tuned in. I appreciate you guys having some patience with your boy while I go and play this clip. I don't know what I'm going to be hearing, but we're about to listen to this clip and see what takes place. Courtesy of my man Bartek saying, "Yo, you need to listen to this clip real quick and get it cracking." So here we are. Let's listen to my man Colin Cowherd and see what he has to say.
Not comfortable. He doesn't trust his own line. He lets go of the ball early, and he still almost pulled it out. But if you're Buffalo, just think about this. Josh Allen's nearly perfect. You run for 140 yards. You're at home. You're perfect in the red zone. You dominate time of possession. You win the turnover battle. And Mahomes had the ball late going for the tie. So again, not all losses are awful losses, and not all wins mean you've solved everything. I watched Buffalo, and my takeaway is, how does Kansas City have a chance to tie this game? They got punched in the forehead for 3.5 hours and were moving the ball down the field. I mean, that stuff was nightmare fuel for Buffalo late. You're thinking, oh, they're not going to do it again after they clanked the field goal. So the one thing, though, we kept saying last year, Kansas City, Philadelphia was the best team last year. I think right now there's an argument the LA Rams are the best team for the second straight year. The best teams over in the NFC, not the AFC. AFC's got the better quarterbacks. I think the NFC's got the better teams.
Debatable.
But last year, this team was unbeaten, 11-0 in one-score games, and now they're 0-4. The only team worse in the league's the Texans. So that's your company. So the last 2 years, Kansas City's had a hole on that offensive line. They had to let go of Joe Thuney this year. Joe Thuney's now a Bear. So Buffalo, don't pat yourself in the back. Howie Roseman's already made a move. Go upgrade wide receiver. Go up.
Well, we didn't. We didn't upgrade wide receiver. So what are you going to do? Nothing. So you got to deal with what you got. Here's the deal. I don't expect Colin Cowherd to know all the details about the Buffalo Bills because this guy covers a lot of sports, right? It's not just football, and he doesn't just cover one team. I on the other hand do. And it's you know what? Everybody's got a different perspective on this. I see it differently. I have been, I think, consistent enough, and y'all can call me out for it, but I think I've been consistent enough to say that I still believe in this receiving core. I just need better play from Josh, and I need better play calling from Joe Brady. And if we can get those two in lockstep, it opens up everything else for the offense. And they just need to figure out what they're trying to do. And I think what it looks like, they're going to try to build this offense and run it through Kincaid. And if that's the case, I'm okay with it. Run the football, run it through Kincaid and Khalil Shakir. Fine, but make it consistent that people know that's what's coming. And now you can start utilizing the weapons like Curtis Samuel, utilizing the weapons like Josh Palmer when he comes back, and then utilizing Elijah Moore. I really do believe Elijah Moore is a better receiver than we're making him look like, and we're not utilizing him to his potential. I really don't. And we got a glimpse of it last game with one target, one reception, but it was a key reception. And you can see how quickly and fast he moves on the field. So find a way to find a role for him. So that's why I feel like this receiving room is not as dire as people may make it seem. Would I have liked to add another piece? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? But I'm not also dying and thinking this receiving core is horrid. I think that it's a culmination of all. If the O-line's blocking, the plays are being called correctly, and Josh is executing, I think we're going to be all right. That's the way I look at it. My man Walter believes that I have too much faith in the receiving core that hasn't earned it. So who's the most battle-tested receiver on this team? Probably Shakir. You're probably right. Maybe Josh Palmer can be in there. But let's keep it honest too, right? Josh Palmer being away for what? It's been 4 weeks now that he's been off. 4 weeks. I think that's gonna help this offense a little bit more. And I believe that we'll start to see a different dynamic of this offense with Palmer being back, and now them figuring out everyone with their pieces and how they do it. Now, I'm out on this whole everybody eats business. I'm out on that. You guys have heard me say it before. I ain't want to hear it. Get the guys the ball that deserve the football and roll with it. So if Kincaid is hot, roll with Kincaid. If you can sprinkle in Keon where he needs to be, then boom. Sprinkle in Josh Palmer where he needs to be. I think that we have something here. But it's been yet to be seen. My man Palmer has as many TDs as everybody on the stream. I know. Believe me. But I still see good things coming his way. Am I disappointed that we did not make any trades? Excuse me. What did Deborah say? Deborah says, I agree with you about the receivers. They need to be put in a better position. 100% they do. 100% they do. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Take each one of these receivers and put them on a quality, competent, and savvy offensive coordinator. They will find ways to get the ball in the hands of said receivers. I mean, look, Joe Flacco just came in on a team less than a month ago, and he's dialing up and having career moments. Now, call it what you want. Is it Taylor, or is it a combination of having a vet quarterback that knows what he's doing and has elite receivers. Call it what you want to call it. But if I would have put Keon Coleman on there, I'm sure they would have found a route for him and found something for him. So I just think we haven't tapped in to our receivers as much as we should. Hopefully that is what we start seeing going forward, but we'll see. We shall see. My man Terrence says, I agree with Colin, though. I think he was referring to the defense. I know he was referring to the defense. I'll go back to that. He goes, he's pretty much saying that we let the Kansas City Chiefs pretty much march back into this game where they had no business doing it. I mean, it's still the Kansas City Chiefs, though. And this is the one thing that I gotta say. You're never really blowing out the Bills. I mean, when's the last time the Bills got blown out? The last time I felt that the Bills got blown out was the playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I can't remember another game where the Bills were absolutely blown out. They just looked out of place. The most recent one I can think of is that Cincinnati playoff team, the playoff game. Did we get blown out any other team? Yes, the Ravens, excuse me, and thank you, and the Ravens. Those were the two that I can remember recently, right? I had to go further back. So Ravens, yeah, we got blown out that game. That was no doubt, right? But we got a lick back. But the point I'm trying to make is rare will you see the Bills just get absolutely owned. It's just rare. It's not often. So for you to think that the Bills were just going to just beat down the Chiefs and they weren't going to fight back and not make it a close game, that's insane. That's insane. We were punching me in the forehead for 3 quarters. Yeah, but you still got Andy Reid, and it's 4 quarters the last time I checked. It's 4 quarters. 4 quarters. I mean, shoot, the Ravens were beating our brakes in week 1. Beating our brakes in the week 1. What do we do? 4th quarter, 50. We're down, 15? And we came back to win this thing. So to mention, we were beating in the 4th quarter, you let them back in the game, bro, I ain't trying to hear all that. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. Right? The Bengals were absolutely getting pummeled, and they came back to make it an absolute game, and they still lost the game because, I mean, lack of defense. But call it what you want. But I don't really see eye to eye with Colin on that topic. But that's just me. My man Walter goes, yo, is it our goal to beat the Chiefs in the playoff or win the Super Bowl? I can be convinced we're good enough to beat them, but I'm not convinced that we can win the Super Bowl against the Rams, Eagles by standing pat. I don't disagree with that. And for me right now, I can only have recency bias, right? We just played the Chiefs. I'm on the Chiefs, and that's who always gives us issues. I will say this, though. I do not, and I'll speak for myself, I do not want to get caught up in we beat the Chiefs. I'm trying not to get caught up in that. We beat the Chiefs and we do it all the time. And I don't want to get caught up in we're waiting for the Chiefs in the playoffs. The Chiefs might not even make the playoffs. So I don't want our focus to be on we're built for the Chiefs, bro. We will probably end up meeting the Colts maybe. We still got to play the Ravens. We'll probably meet the Ravens if they get their act together. The Pittsburgh Steelers, we still got them this year. We still got to play the Eagles this year to really see what we're truly about. And once we make the playoffs, we still got to play the Broncos. The Broncos played us tough when we played them in the playoffs last year. And we played up against a rookie Bo Nix. So we can't sit there and worry about the Kansas City Chiefs when we got really good contenders in the AFC that are going to be waiting for us. And if we get caught with our pants down thinking, we're the Chiefs. I thought we're prepared for the Chiefs. No, you got to be prepared all day for everybody. Now, the good thing I can say is, when you play a team so often, you know each other extremely well. So it's matchup based. So now that we've got some key pieces on our team, that helps a lot, right? Getting Max Harrison, he's going to get more reps. Eventually, he'll be not splitting reps with Trey White, going 30-30. They split the reps 50-50. Heck no. Start cutting that way more. I need to start seeing, 65. 65-70, and then as much as Benford is on the field, but having Trey White on the field, I ain't trying to see Trey White on the field unless we're in dime. All right, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to. But looking at this as a whole, there's some good things that we've displayed. It just sucks that we don't have a fully healthy squad, but neither does everybody else. Everyone's dealing with some injuries, but hopefully we get the guys back that we need in the timely fashion, and then we could really truly make a run. And we're right on track, man. We were 6-2 same time last year, And statistically, we're better. Statistically. So call it what you want to call it, right? Maybe we're right where we need to be. Sometimes you got to take some L's along the way to kind of give you some resiliency so you can bounce back. So we'll see how it is. And you know what? I'm going to agree with this comment too. A lot of people don't want to see Shavers on the field. I think he's better than people want to give him credit for. I think he's a solid player. They're utilizing him one way. They're giving him the Gabe Davis treatment. You know what I mean? You're just out there to be a decoy and block. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can find a way to get everybody the football, right? So can everybody eat? No, right? But can Josh serve a better dish? Absolutely. Can there be a better menu? Yes, that's where Brady comes in. Create myself, give me a better menu, and I'll start serving these up. Those the chef and the guy making the menu, y'all got to come together and make this a great product, so we can actually push and really make some differences down the stretch and into the playoffs, so we can actually get to our first Super Bowl in freaking 30 plus years. If the freaking Blue Jays can't do it, the Bills can. All right, that's the way I look at it. All right, before I get out of here, folks, you guys already know what time it is. You know what I mean? I gotta share my screen and get to it. And if you guys haven't been able to, there I go. I'm missing. If you guys have not been able to get on the the Sleeper app, what are you guys waiting for, guys? There's no deposit needed when you jump on there. You got a free $20 entry. Use it. We're giving it to you. It's right here. It's right here. A free $20 entry, man. Jump on that, man. We helping you out. So jump on there. Have a good time with it. And it's one of the best apps out there. I use it all the time. Right now, my team is absolutely not doing well. And one thing that I do hate about fantasy is I've 3 weeks in a row now that I'm on a 3-game losing streak, which I'm on a 2-game losing streak, excuse me, and I'm sick to my stomach. I had a 140-point game. I lost to a guy that put on 180. When I looked at the rest of the league, 80 points, 90 points, 110 points. I was like, dude, I could have washed every one of these. This week, I put up 124 points. This guy puts up 160. I look at the rest of the game, the rest of the league, 119, 108, 89. I'm like, come on. The teams that I should be a lot better in my fantasy, and I'm not doing well. So Sleeper app, one of the best ones. Get 100% match up to $100 and using the code BF. So don't forget, man, use the code BF25 and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions always apply. You guys know that. See the Sleeper terms for use and details. Current operational in 25 states. So jump all over that. So you know what time it is. It's that Thursday night game. And let me share my screen real quick so we can make some. Listen, I've not been great, folks. I've not been great. Hopefully I can redeem myself. But folks, I have been buns. I've been absolute buns. So what do we got? Let me just adjust this here so you guys can jump in with me. Where we at? I hate when this thing does that to me. All right, give me a moment here so we can set it up. All right, so we got the Geno Smith-led Raiders with the Denver Broncos. If we could get an upset from the Raiders beating the Broncos, I would absolutely love that, but we'll see. Brock Bowers is an absolute beast. There's no and ifs or buts about it. This guy is nasty with it. So to me, if Geno Smith is going to do something, you got to find Brock Bowers. And Brock Bowers, anytime touchdown, give me that more. Always, it's going to be that anytime touchdown with Brock Bowers, their best receiver on the squad, and they just traded Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I'll take that. So that being said, if you're a fantasy guy, if Jacoby Myers is gone, start looking at the receiver room and see what they got over there. So keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. All right, let's keep it rolling. So I got Brock Bowers anytime touchdown. Give me Bo Nix. Free pick. You know me. I like me some free. So I'll take that all day, every day. And last but not least, Geno Smith. This Broncos defense is solid. Pat Surtain. You got Nick Bonito. There's a crew out there. That pass rush is nasty, and they got a great defensive backfield. Geno Smith, you got me talking with a list. Geno's gonna have some tough times, but because they'll be down, they're gonna be throwing a lot. So Whether he's accurate doing this, I don't know. I just don't like the matchup for these guys. So give me Geno with less than 212. I'd love to see it, but this brother's been struggling. I don't know how he's struggling. You're with your old coach. You got Chip Kelly out there that's supposed to be offensive guru. You should be way better, and the run game should be leaning on the run game, and they're not. So go figure. So give me Geno with less, give me Bo Nix with more, and give me Brock Bowers with an anytime touchdown. I'll take that all day. So if you guys are interested in jumping all over that, I suggest it. It's a good time, and hopefully my picks hit this time, because bro, I've been struggling. I've been in struggle mode. So hopefully we can get back right to it. So let's get back to it. So folks, I appreciate your time. It's always love when you guys jump in and hanging out with your boy. And I'm always gonna bring the juice every time you guys come on here. We're not always gonna see eye to eye. I think we all know that. I think we're onto it. But we'll see how it all plays out. Now let's keep it here. Let's keep it here for a quick second. Although the Bills did not make a trade for anybody, but they did make moves on the practice squad, which really sucks because I like Jimmy Charlo. Jimmy Charlo was a great story. He even got signed to the the active roster. Then he was cut and then brought back to the practice squad, and then he got removed. They terminated that brother's contract, so now he's a free agent. How crazy is that? You go from being on your couch at mom and dad's place to being on an active roster at your ultimate high, and then now you're back to being without a job. That sucks. That really does suck. I feel for the brother, so I'm hoping that they find some room to, you know what I'm saying, give him a futures contract later on, but right now the guy's got no spot on the squad. Not only that, they got rid of Wilkinson, one of the bright spots as a receiver of the practice squad. He's been developing, and he had some moments in practice. He had some moments in camp, but this is a big boy game, and we gotta start bringing guys onto our squad. So we are most likely going to be working players out. So be on the lookout for that. I know the Bills will be adding to the practice squad. Question is who? I mean, I just saw somebody in the chat say we're working out Casey Toohill. Why bring Casey Toohill? What the hell is he going to bring to the squad? Anyway, working out Casey Toohill. So, I mean, shoot, if we're working that guy out, cool. I mean, isn't Christian Wilkins still available? Yo, go find Christian Wilkins. I mean, I don't care. Like, listen, those two will get along just fine. If he wants to stick a little finger here and there, I mean, Josh will just say, yo, man, just chill out, bro. we ain't doing that here. And plus, Josh has got a lot of guys that got his back. So if Christian Wilkins wants to get weird, I mean, we're gonna get weird on you too. So here it is. The Bills put to bed the trade deadline. We didn't make anything happen. It's not the end of the world. We'll survive. We're gonna be all right. But there are some guys that can still be out there that are. I mean, listen. Let's keep it real. Asante Samuels is still out there. He just got cleared by his doctor. I know they had some kind of fusion. Those really do suck, but he got cleared by one of the best doctors in the game. So that could be a piece that we bring onto the team. Do we need that piece? No. Do we need a defensive tackle / defensive end? Yes. So we'll see. Matt Perino what did Matt Perino say? Why is my screen? Oh my gosh, I hate when this happens, man. All right, I got to do it this way. All right, better. So Matt Perino reported that Kingsley Jonathan as well. Beane loves his old scraps. Oh God, Beane's got to stop with that, man. He's got to stop with that. I understand that you want to bring guys that are familiar with the system and familiar with this and familiar with that. And I'm a fan of Kingsley Jonathan. I was a fan when he was on the squad, but you don't got to go back. Stop going back to your exes, man. Golly. Beane got that complex to go back to his ex because, I mean, she scratched my back a certain way. I liked it. I mean, she made my favorite mac and cheese. She knows how I like my ramen noodles. Man, stop that, man. Golly. Like, you left them for a reason. Quit going back. Unless they doing something real good for you, you ain't gotta do all that. Anyway, see if my man Christian Wilkins is available. I mean, we could use some talent on that defensive tackle. I mean, we could use some talent. But anyway, that's my time. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Do me a favor, smash that like before you guys get out of here. And if you guys enjoyed the show, you guys know what to do. Subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. Tell your peoples. And let's get this channel going up, man. The dream for this channel is to get over 100,000 subs. I mean, it's a grind. We'll get there. We'll get there. By the way, salute to my guy Jeff King in the building. What up, Jeff? What's happening? There's a good for a hookup. That's it. Anyway, you guys have a great one. You guys have a fantastic. Let me sign out with my beautiful jazz music, my little jazz and funk, and we'll catch you guys on the flip, man. So for the rest of your night, folks, it's your boy, and I'm gone. Have yourself a good one.